Let's have a quick shot on the application interface over here. Top right, we've got the control box available over here, which is this one, control box. Then we've got the share and the comment available here along with Copilot. It is not along with Copilot actually speaking over here. This is something additional that we get, but these buttons are connected. If I share my file on OneDrive, for example, I can then have a comment over here. For example, if I talk to somebody in India, somebody in New Jersey, somebody in China, for example. So when I share the file with multiple people, for example, across the same country, in the same city, across multiple locations also, for example, or in the same organization, same building, but there are multiple people there. When I share the file with multiple people here, I get the comment section available here indicating that I can really communicate with those people personally one-to-one. So I don't have to go to Teams package to really have my communication across. So this share option and comment option is integrated. But when we got Copilot from Microsoft, they said that we should be having Copilot also on the network itself, so that whatever communication we have across, for example, with the comments over here and the prompts that we really create in this case can be shared instantaneously with other people also there, which is why the connect is there with Copilot over here in this case. If I go for generative AI, that's a quite big session, about 1 hour or so. We'll compress the entire session into these 2 days only, so that we can learn the best over here with Copilot features in Excel, for example, over here. On the generative AI section, for example, there's something called large language model, medium language model, and small language model. Copilot is going towards a large language model, integrating multiple small models available over there, creating the answer in multiple formats over here with the prompt that I gave over here. So it goes to these models there and picks up one answer that can be having multiple options. We'll see the examples also. Our major objective is to leverage the Copilot feature in Excel. Going further, for example, as I go, we've got the search box available here, file name here, tabs available here in Excel. These are the tabs that we can find in this case. Small basics, I'm just trying to set up the layout correctly in this case. This is the ribbon band over here. That's a ribbon over here. All of us are quite familiar with that. Access toolbar I brought down over here so that I've got more of the options available, which can't be placed here. Otherwise, the title bar, it becomes quite cluttered in that case. That gives me a display in the title bar quite cluttered in this case, which is I've transferred it over here. How can I transfer here? I'll tell you that later. So I've got multiple options here in this case in the access toolbar, which contains my Copilot also. That part is the formula bar that we can see in this case. And that part is the name box that we can see. Name box tells me about my current position. This is my current position. This is a D6 and that is D6 over here. Number of columns, 16,384 per sheet. Starting from A to XFD, the last column. And number of rows here. These are about 10,48,576 in total per sheet. Number of sheets, unlimited. We got unlimited sheets available there. And the sheet tab name length is up to 31 characters long. That's about some of the idea about our spreadsheet that we got with us. So I worked on the max 300 sheets in Excel. Was it slow at that time? Not really, because we knew that we're going to 300 sheets in that case. We work with something called 16 GB RAM in our systems, for example. It works fairly fine, but if I go lower than that, it'll be slow. So with that particular memory available, it is not really very slow. Our sheets were not very big actually, containing last 5 years data. That means 5 different sheets. Quarter per every sheet, that means 20 more, and so on. Which is why it puts 300 sheets at the end of the year. Beginning of the year only 10 sheets, and so on. So that's about the interface of Excel, available to all users at present. When we pay some amount of fee, for example, in a per year basis or per month basis, for example, we get the Copilot available over there. That works on multi-model large language model. I mentioned that earlier also. And we'll see the interface answering us the calls very shortly. Going further, for example, it's got the web presence also available. In case we don't subscribe to Microsoft 365, for example, I can really go to create my account over there in Microsoft. And like I go to Google and use my Google Mail or Yahoo Mail available to open my account in Google, for example, and all the Google Sheets and slides are available to me. Likewise, I can go to office.com. Office.com, I can really have the interface of Copilot available to me completely free of charge, an entire year, licensed copy from Microsoft, and I can test out everything in Copilot over there in case I don't have the desktop version. Desktop version is on purchase. This one is not on purchase. This one is on the net. You can see the browser is there. This one is on the net, and the address is office.com. You can go there and try to use Copilot there.
Can you use if you're not using 365?
If you're not using 365, we can't use Copilot at the desktop, but yes, on the net we can use it.
Because I have my install on my laptop. I'm not using the Microsoft Drive Office application.
That's required. That's required.
My laptop.
Yeah, absolutely. That's required. It says open a workbook stored on OneDrive or SharePoint, for example. So we have to have the file available on OneDrive in that case. That's required.
You're saying that if you have Office 365, Copilot comes with that pretty much? That's for free?
No. I have to buy that separately. I have to pay for that separately. So if I buy 365, for example, for something, some amount, for example, over here, which I can take, for example, for some dollars, for example, 365 is a separate purchase. It's a separate purchase. And Copilot is a separate purchase.
No, I have 365. I was wondering if the Copilot came with it as a value add to try to increase the usership. But you're saying that with my 365 purchase, I still have to now go do another additional purchase specifically for Copilot.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Okay.
The requirement in this case is this, that for day one, we go in for this session integrating Excel's key features, introduction to Copilot, how it integrates over here, common functions like sum, average, and so on. And then we work with condition formatting, Copilot for chart generation, pie chart, etc. And with the pivot table available there. Plus we work on sort and filter also. These are the broad guidelines, broad outline that we have to work with. And day two, we've got this session that is, for example, in integrating some VLOOKUP index match functions, combining with some macros and seeing some advanced toolback and solver analysis over there. I don't say that we can't cover anything that we covered on day one here also. In case we've got some doubts, we can certainly cover those doubts also over there. That's what we can have. That's a broad outline of the detail that we have got so far. It's a very average session, for example. Detailed session, of course, will be quite a bigger one. And that's a huge session that takes deeper into my pivots, for example. How can I create my outliers, for example? How can I create a dashboard, for example? The dashboard that it creates might not be really acceptable by me. I might like to change some charts over there. So I can really command the Copilot to say, listen to me and accept my chart commands over there. Many commands will not work over there sometimes because they say that Copilot is still emerging into a better pilot, I would say that, support pilot, I would say that, so that it can give me better answers. For example, all AI tools give us a disclaimer indicating that the results might not be correct so far, and we understand that it's really emerging. Frankly speaking, it's not been right now, it's been happening right now. If you hear the news, some years ago, there was a chess player and the computer could really win against the chess player. So the intelligence was there at that time also, but not fully utilized and developed to that extent. But now the focus is much on this, and quite rightly also, because we are into the age where we can really see these things happening in front of us and really enjoy these benefits over here. So thankfully it's happening in front of us and we are able to enjoy these benefits over here.
Of course, I'm taking this because I'm not going to use that Copilot acting where I'm working right now. I just need I'm working data warehouse side and need to validate the data. Will this course be helpful to me? I don't want to buy Copilot and we are not using those future Copilot.
Absolutely. We'll be working on that part also. Yeah, we're working on that part also. Because if I finish Copilot quite fast, it might finish in just 1 to 2 hours only. We'll certainly see a great feature in Excel itself and then have a support of Copilot. Because I've mentioned that the feature is available as a support to Excel, so that's not one of the major focus, but you've got the focus along with Excel with AI. That is the focus here. So let's see best.
Hey, you know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features: bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
I have a question for you too. I have a question.
Yes, please.
I want to enhance my Excel. So my analysis. So again, being that AI, and I use a lot of Chat AI and Perplexity AI. Some of the things that a lot of analysts do with Excel without the AI, can this copilot allow me to do some of the analyst's work, or at least for what I don't know, as far as does this tool allow me to enhance the usage of the analysis of the data?
Yeah, we can do that because prior to the Copilot introduction, we have something called analyze data. I'll be covering this part also here. And with that particular option available there, we'll be working on that and showing the option available there. That will give us the idea about that. We'll work on that as well.
I'm a program manager in ServiceNow modules and do a lot of dashboards. So I export a lot of data from there into Excel, and I'd like to be able to take the list data that's there and see how I can enhance my output with respect to network, incident response, things like that. So perfect. Okay. I apologize, folks. Okay. I want to make sure that we're able to use this in a way that, to your point, is relatable. Thank you.
Yeah. So I can't create this dashboard in AI. Yes, I'll just answer this call for Dexter, then we'll come back to you shortly. So this is the dashboard that I've created here for various sessions, for example. This is very close to the solution we created for a company, for example, but then I took that in my trainings also. And when I might change my values over here, for example, the selection over here, for example, the cards will change the value and the cards will change the display also over here. If I click on that again over here, I can see East, for example, the values change in this case, and I see my display available differently. This Copilot cannot create, but Copilot can give me a good idea about this. Presently, we have got some hiccups in Copilots in creating a kind of a dashboard that we wanted to create. The description has to be not like a single line prompt. It has to be like a paragraph. My prompt has to be a paragraph, which is what makes it more intriguing and going deeper into it. So this we can't create over here, but this particular program that I'm showing you right now goes from right to left over here, indicating all the steps that we follow in dashboard creation, how to analyze the data, for example, cover some backup functions in Excel in detail. These are blanks right now. We have more details over here. Then we got some backup charts available here that we cover in this case, indicating how can we leverage the data part available there, for example. So when my chart changes a face, for example, the face of the picture sees me only in that case, in case somebody has to fancy around with the pictures over there in the chart, for example, the pivot chart. We then cover the masters over here, indicating what are the masters here. With the data table scenes also, how to apply data table correctly. And we learn how to apply data table functions over here. These are clear functions I told you just now. They are clear functions. Solution is created on that. Then we work for analysis one that goes for about 6 to 7 hours. And we create a kind of a KPI available over there for the dealers that we have here, for example. So I go and pick up my dealers and I see that. I just use, for example, I would say, snipping tool in Windows like this, and try to make a selection here And once the picture is formed, I can then send in my WhatsApp or my Teams chat, Control V, I have to paste it over there, and that paste over there, and the dealer comes to know the situation like that I'm on this scale. Of course, I can make a proper selection in that case, and that way I can send the dealer immediately. So this part is connected to the data over here, and the masters over here has got my targets over here. Based on the targets, I'm getting the KPI created over here. That is a target, that is the achievement that is there. Beside that, we go to analysis 2, work with the displays available like that, some kind of line chart, and then we come with the dashboard. This journey takes about 2 work days, 7 to 8 hours per day, something like that. So we can work on that also subsequently when we go later for that matter. Yes, please.
You said that on office.com, if you go, you will see that Copilot and analyze data, right? But I don't see that.
No, we can't straight away analyze data with that. We got to create an account over there, something like that.
Okay.
So if I go to office.com here, I've got my account there already. So if I go, you can sign in over here.
Yes, so I signed in. I signed in and I opened it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you what happens then. So once I sign in, I get over here and I get my Copilot available over here. You might not see immediately, for example, you have to go to the apps and use that button of Copilot, and then it will show here. The window I showed you in my PPT, for example, was showing something like this.
Okay.
I can then give it a sheet.
But you are getting on the left side that Copilot option, right? But I don't see that option for me.
You have to go to
I
apps.
just see.
You have to go to apps here and then connect it from there. You got Copilot somewhere here. All apps.
Okay. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, we find Copilot here and attach it. The more you use it, will come on the surface in that case and show you over there. Also find from here. This is Copilot.
Okay.
So it will come here. It will appear here.
I actually have a similar problem. Like I'm trying to find the Copilot and it's not coming up, and I'm following your steps. Like I logged into office.com and I'm clicked on the apps and I'm trying to do a search for Copilot and it's still not coming up.
Have you signed into 365? Have you signed into 365?
Yes,
it's 365. Yeah. Yep.
Even I don't see it.
This shows me here. This one is a free. I have got a license, that's why it's showing me here. That is not the point. I've done that in various other scenarios also. Maybe it will come up again once you sign. Did you sign in only or earlier?
No. I mean, I have this account for years. So
Do you have a subscription running with Office? That could be something.
I do have the subscription. I do have subscription, yes.
Yeah, I think you need to have a subscription running to be able to see it.
Oh, okay.
What is subscription running? I mean, I do actually. I do pay yearly, and it's active right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Because when I did not pay for Copilot, it was introduced. We had to take time, deciding should I or should I not. By that time, I could get Copilot over here, but it was not available right over here, like Sarita was saying earlier. I could not see that earlier. And subsequently, I had to go to the apps over here and find it in this kit like this. Copilot, it's not showing here because I'm using it quite frequently, but I had to type it over here and then find that. And then I could find over here. These are my files actually. These are my Copilot. These are my files. And I clicked in this case. It went to this option here. Then a month or two later, I bought it. And after the buying, I could really get that in my desktop also. So this should show here. I don't know why it's not showing. Depends also on the country we are into it. But then it showed me after some time. It did not show me on the first go. It took some time for me to see that without the purchase. After the purchase, of course, it is available, but without the purchase, I could see that. At least 365 should be subscribed to. That is what I know.
Sorry, I'm just going to ask a quick question. I know you guys are in the conversation. So I'm walking through and I see this exact screen on my end. So what's the next step? Does this mean that because I'm using my company laptop and logging in through there, so I see the Copilot in here. So does this mean I have Copilot or I don't have it?
You can check that from the desktop application that you've got over here. If that is there, that means you've got it over here. That means that is there.
Okay, so if I go in Excel,
I go in
Excel,
home.
Excel home.
Do you find that
I don't.
over here?
No, I don't see that in Excel.
Exactly. So I don't have to install this over here like add-in. I don't have to install. It should be automatically here in case I purchased. Since you did not purchase, it's still showing up over there. Possibly because you're on 365 product. That's why it's showing that over here. So we got Control F1 for display and hide into ribbon band. So press Control F1, display, hide ribbon band, for example, over here. If I pick up my data, for example, and try to work on the data set available here, I work on various options available there. First things first, 365 now contains, for example, the sheet number also over here. If you can't find that here, you might need a small update, not an upgrade, I'm saying. Update is what comes to us through Excel automatically. If I right click on that and go here, I can find the sheet number here. If that is off, it doesn't show me. But if I right click again and go here, I can just jump from here, sheet number. It is also now available in Excel. We see that in PowerPoint, we see that in Word, but now Excel also has it. Next is, when I work on the data set available here, I've got some distributors here. If you're working on the sheet, in case you've got this sheet, you can see it's an LMS available there. You can get the sheet from there. We're on IFS sheet right now. IFS sheet right now. Extra shortcuts are given here for Windows and Mac also, in case you're interested. The red sheet is not we're covering up over here. These are the reference sheets available here, available for other learning, for example. We work on this right now. Extra prompts are given over here for Copilot, and we see what best we can do from here, for example. Now, if I see the data here, because I'm working on 365, to mention 365, I have to go to File and go to Account. I can then verify that, okay, my product is 365 over here. That's what I can see in this case. This might say 2016 for some people, 2019 for some people. Now we've got 2024 also available as a flat license. It's not a subscription. It's a flat license available as a product, for example. But the version these days is called over here. This is the version that we can see in this case. 2410, that's October version for year 24. And that's where you can find out the product information available over here. That's what we can find in this case. Okay, let's go. I've got various options available to split my data across, for example. So I can pick up, for example, the text column available there. So I can really pick up this like that, copy this here. This is left aligned, so I can pick it up over here. I want my variant name to be established in this case, and write function called text before, for example. The text required in this case is the text I want to work with, for example, like that. And then apply the delimiter, which is my double quotes, comma, double quotes, and close the bracket. Enter, I get the answer over here. I can get this across and get the answer, double click, and we see the answer available over here. How can I get my border so fast and easy? I'll pick up that later. But right now I've got my data set available here. Let me show you once again. Function, formula text shows me the function available there. Not only in the training is it helpful for me, but also in the real working, for example, office working. If I hand over my work to somebody else, I'm going to a new position, for example, new role, for example, and somebody is to take my work as my position, for example. I have to send the file to that person. I can then try to send the function available in this format, not the simple ones, but the complex ones, and explain like this. Comment is meant for this purpose I mentioned earlier. This is the new note I can apply this in this case. This is, for example, another sign-in. So let's see here. We've got this function, so I can really go and format this inside this also. Control B works here. So I can go say this function extracts the variant name. That's it. If I go here, it's a simple example, of course, but it's a complex example. It's a good idea to spread out it, and I can find that really over here. It's easy to find out in this case. That's what we can find over here. So the point is that when I try to explain my formula text over here, this gives me the idea about my function itself over there. That's how the function is made in this case. Now, when I see my data set available here, sometimes there's a problem that my data is numeric ending to the right side over here, and the text starting immediately after that. I have to have the spaces here. So sometimes some people will apply some spaces like that, which is not the right idea. And then show like that. That makes good sense, but not really. We should be using this feature rather. I can go to Home tab, apply, increase indent over here. One click, and that shifts to the right side without having to apply some additional feature over here. So function text before gives me the data before the dash, before the comma in this case. But if I say, no, I don't want a comma here, I want a dash here, for example, so I can say a dash here, and then enter, I get the answer. Alternatively, if I did not do that now, I made a selection first, for example, like that. I can open F2. I can go select that, write a dash here. In the selection that you made and wanted to modify the function thereafter, you can then press Control Enter after modifying the function here, so that it applies to entire column like this. Control Enter. And there I see a better example appearing over here. And this particular part is giving me the increase indent option available here. So in case my data set is, for example, combined like this, numeric ending on the right side and this ending on the left side, I can increase indent. I can centerline the data. Why can't I do that? We can't centerline the data. Every time we have to centerline some data only. So the best data I can centerline is this one, like you have.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
Dates, quarters, years, yes, no's, standard width, short, month name, short, weekday name. These can be centerlined. The other data will not look nice to be centerlined. So dates like these can be centerlined, we can see that. And the codes can be centerlined, they are standard width, for example, like that. Otherwise, the data should be normally left and right aligned as per the character of the data, the type of the data. Numeric right, date right, and then text left. That's your text before. Like this, we got something else available over here. So I've also got something called my column width here. So Alt O is options, CW is column width. Alt O is options, CW is column width. So if I try to apply, for example, the column width example over here, Alt O CW column width, for example, I can go to the column here, for example, Alt O is options, CW is column width. The standard column width for the numbers can be 10, 12 only. It doesn't have to be more than that. You will see that consistently you have got a good width available for numbers. It's quite consistent over there. But the width for the text can be like 15, 20, 35, 25, like that. It makes more sense to have a rounded number available there. Easy to remember, basically. Otherwise, you can always set up from here also. It's fine. So in this case, if I'm trying to see this right side of the data, it should be 20. Let's try 20. And that should be okay. And that's what I try in this case. I say, okay, fine. That's a variant name. That's a variant type. In this case, I can try, for example, text after. Pick up the same data, comma, apply the dash over here, and close the bracket, get the answer, and I'll get my data on the right side over here, like this. And then apply the borders. How can I apply the borders so fast here as well as here? First of all, let me show this example over here. That's text after. You can please try that in case you're having some data set with you. This is the way I can separate the data like that. If I want my next step to be available, I need to apply one more separator over here. I need to apply one more separator over here, for example. That's how I'm supposed to work in that case. That's about text before, text after, and then the variants available over here, variant available over here, in the name, in the type, like that. I've got the space here because it's a space here in this case also. After the dash, I've got a consistent space. So I can try like this also. I can say a space in this case, enter, double click, and that's better. Sometimes when I go here, for example, the double click doesn't work. It doesn't show me the plus sign here. In that case, I can go to File, Options, Advanced. Right in front of that, there's Enable Fill Handle, which is off sometimes. And when I go back here, I can't see the plus sign over here. So how I can get that is like this, File, Options, Advanced, apply this over here. Okay. And I can see that I got the plus sign here. So we can apply these options like this. File, Options, Advanced, Enable, Fill Handle. Why did they become off? We are filing the income tax returns. We are getting the file from everywhere in the office. Somebody sends me a file, some Excel file. I work on the file. Normally, if I go to the file, for example, I can see the extension XLSX. That is not containing the macro. The macro file will contain XLSM. Did you notice something very clearly over here? When I go to say I work on this sheet, for example, I tell you that the sheet should be this sheet, for example. And then I tell you about the shortcut, for example, and tell you, for example, format cells is Control-1, for example. It shows me this Control-1 over here. This is a different color. This is a macro I'm playing, whereas my file is only XLSX. It's only XLSX. It is not containing the macro. So I can have some built-in macros in my file. So what macro people do when they try to create a macro, for example, they give you a kind of a screen available here and a cross button here. OK, cancel over here, or close button over here. As a macro user, as the end user in Excel, I might press a close over here, but not over here. Or I might not press this over here. I might press the cross button over here. The macro developer might not have reset the drag and drop feature, because of which when the file closes, for example, the drag and drop feature is disabled. Why do they disable drag and drop feature? Because they don't want us to copy the data from here to here while the macro is on. That's the limitation sometimes. Sensitive data, for example. So they might forget to reset it back. So in case you find sometime that the update has come from Excel and the drag and drop is not available, you can go to this option and try to find the drag and drop option available over there. And apply that. So that's how we can apply drag and drop. Returning back to this, for example, if I pick up the data like that, for example, I can always try to ask Copilot to work for me. So I've got number 3. How do I get my borders over here fast and easy? Let me tell you that. This normally is housed over here. Show above the ribbon. It's housed over here. And that's, you can see it quite cluttered up over here. And the file name can further become smaller because my search has become smaller. In case I get more of the options over here, the file name will even compress thereafter. So I want to keep it separate, for example. So I go here, show below the ribbon. That goes below the ribbon right over here. That is going to help me now. Yeah. So when I go here, for example, I can go to Data, right click, Add to Access Toolbar, Z2A, right click, Add to Access Toolbar, Copilot, right click, Add to Access Toolbar, which is how I got these options over here. First, second, and third, and then some other options. Advantage. Suppose I go here, want to sort my data. You can notice very clearly over here, I've got a gap here. This row is quite a small height. You can see number 3 is not hidden, but got a gap here. So I don't want to connect my data with the other part of my entries I make around the table, for example. So I go here and try to sort the data, see how fast I can sort the data like this. And when I go here like this, and when I go here like this, sorts my data so fast and easy. Because when I go and set up Data tab, right click, Add to Access Toolbar, these options get transferred over here. And the options present here before this, for example, I can right click and say remove from there. Because of it, the options over here shift to the left side. When I go here, for example, let me tell you, when you sort the data in Excel, so I've got these features available, let me tell you. Sort, filter, pivot, chart, data, table, subtotal. These features do not require entire table selection before you start the feature. So when I go here, for example, want to sort my data, what do I do? We normally have to go to, for example, and opening the ribbon band by pressing Control F1 here. That's what I do. And when I go here, for example, I can see data type here, and then I apply that over here. I do not have to go here because I've transferred this already over here. So I close my ribbon band, and from various tabs, I've got my features transferred over here. So when I go here, for example, since I learned just now that sort doesn't require my table selection, and I want to sort my data on the zone, for example, so East should be here and East should be here as well. So I can just press Alt, and I can see numbers over here. I'm using mouse to tell you where is what. So I can see my numbers over here. So I don't have to use mouse. I simply press number 1 now, because number 1 is ascending order sort like this. 1, and you can see sorting is done. As I go to the variant here, Alt and 1, the sorting is done. As I make a selection, Control A for the table, for example, suppose I did not have the borders, which I'm pressing Alt 7 now. 7 is no borders for me. That's no borders. Suppose the borders are not there, which are not there normally in Excel. I have to decide my borders myself based on the data I choose. Now that I've done my table selection here, for example, I've got 8 number for all borders. So I press Alt and then 8, and the borders are done. That is why when I create the column here, I subsequently get my borders instantly available with me. The moment I do a selection like that, for example, I press Alt 8. It was like this further. When I tried earlier, it was like this afterwards. So I can go here and make it sorted now. It's a random sort because of the code, and I can see my data randomly available over here. That is how the access toolbar will help me. And the numbers don't go to 10. They go to 9, because 10 will activate 1 and 0, and that will activate 1 also, which is why it is up to 9 only. After 9, it's like 09 up to 01. And if you don't finish with the options there, it starts with 0A, 0B, 0C. That's it.